Welcome back everybody. Today we have another loot video. This time it's loot from 1000 Elite Clues. As always, just smash that subscribe button if you're new. Get right into it then. So we start this one on 46.1 billion. So we'll get started on the caskets then. So the first one we have 537k, followed by 829k, and 95k reroll, and the 595k, about 1.3, and the 2.2 million, 340k reroll, and 115k, 194k, into 474k, and to 1.4, 464k in a master, 1.3 in a master, 1.4, 1.5, 5.1, that's a big one then with 3 fortunates, 126k reroll into 1.2, 846k in a master, 1.3 in a master, 54k reroll into a million in a master, 379k reroll into 1.4, 297k reroll into 1.2, 348k in a master, we're forgetting our treasure trail log. So we have so 2 items left to get in this one. So next then we have 1.1, 374k reroll into 1.1, 583k, 226k reroll into 1.2, 1.3, 1.3 in a master, 107k reroll into 423k, 1.3, 1.3, 355k reroll into 152k, 153k, 352k reroll into 2.1, 122k in a master, 99k, 1.3, 187k in a master, 1.3 in a master back to back, 185k reroll into 1.3, 435k, 98k reroll into 188k, 2.3, 218k reroll into 501k, 231k, 1.4 in a master, 161k reroll and to 96k, 125k, 193k reroll, and to 392k, 227k, 84k, 150k in a master, 990k, 1.1, 618k, 154k reroll, and to 536 in a master, 1.2, 1.3 in a master, 1.3 in another master, 2.4, 65k reroll, and to 550k, 190k reroll, 299k, another reroll into 93k, 1.4 in a master, 2.5, 1.3, 548k, 1.3, 109k in master, and Ashbrock, that's the first one, 274k reroll into a million, 129k reroll into 281k, another reroll into 791k in a master, 1.3, 414k in a master, 207k reroll into 233k, 1.8, 610k, 1.1, 582k, 77k reroll into 194k, reroll into 648k, 295k in a master, 1.4, 221k reroll into 1.1, 129k in a master, 502k, 112k in a master, 166k reroll into 2.3, 1.3, 154k reroll into 1.4, 1.2, 4.2, that's a nice big one, 85k reroll into 326k, 302k in a master, 286k in a master back to back, 1.1 and another master triplicates, 1.2, 235k reroll into 560k, 98k reroll into 1.3, 1.3 in another master, 2.5 in a master back to back, 1.3 in another master triplicate, 266k reroll into 717k, 209k, 371k reroll into 150k in a master, 651k in another master back to back, 1.2, 1.1 in another master, a million, 345k reroll into 98k in a master, 2.5, 30k in a master, 1.4, 106k reroll into 62k in another master, 2.4 in another master, 202k reroll into 3.2, 88k reroll into 226k in a master, 1.3 in another master, a million, 210k reroll into 203k, 311k, 1.3, 1.2, 1.2, 107k in a master, 989k, 318k reroll into 998k, 1.7, 283k reroll into 1.3, 775k, 1.3, there's a first blood die miss, 269k reroll into 1.2 in a master, 388k reroll into 162k in another master, 525k another master back to back to back, 285k another master, that's 4 in a row, 3.8, 1.2 in a master, 1.2, 1.1 another master, 303k reroll, and to 858k, 169k in a master, 106k in another master back to back, 1.3, 154k reroll into 2.3, 1.3, 162k reroll into 1.2, 152k reroll, 724k, 931k, 168k reroll into 228k, 1.2 in a master, 155k reroll into 171k, 1.3, 1.4, 222k reroll and to 586k, 95k, 1.4, 1.2, 107k reroll into 1.4, 1.3, 267k reroll into 1.1, 63k, 2.3, 1.5, 2.3, 923k, 298k reroll into 1.3, and a third age miss there as well. That's fairly unlucky. We're surely getting close to actually another third age drop soon. 148k reroll into 237k, 287k reroll into 1.4, 165k, 115k, 643k, 1 million, 1.2, 100k and a master, 94k and a master back to back, 141k with an Oshbrock, 419k reroll into 736k and a master, 145k reroll into 1.1, 1.1, 246k reroll into 241k in a master, 175k reroll into 1.5 in a master, 123k, 56k reroll into 417k, 386k, 178k in a master, 1.4, 949k, 1.2, 225k reroll into 1.4, 63k reroll into 4.2, that's a nice one, 1.2 in a master, 349k reroll, 115k, 146k, 143k, 2.1 in a master, and there we go, sack of effigies. That's so unlucky. That's not what we wanted to see there today. We wanted something big, but guess we can't always get what we would like. Let's see if we can get the back-to-back at least. No, never lucky. 154k, reroll. And we'll get our effigies out then, just so we have it in the invent. Let's get back into it then. So next then we have 104k, 1.3 in a master, 849k, 720k in a master, 1.2 in another master, 210k reroll, into 553k, 1.9, 284k reroll, and the 602k in a master, 263k reroll, into 259k, 832k and a master, and there we go. Another blood die miss. So 1.3 mil. And then next we have a 701k in a master, 134k reroll. There we go. Nice ice die. We'll take that. That's a huge GP. Wasn't expecting to get it that quickly and close to back. So let's get the ice die out then. Can we get a die set in this 1000? That'd be very nice. Or take a big die for sure. Can we get another one pretty quickly? Let's go. 80k reroll and to 991k, 218k, 874k, 224k reroll into 2.6, 1.3 in a master, 185k, 1.3, 789k in a master, 1.2, 2.5, 1.2, 24k in a master. That's a really low GP in that one. 1.2, 126k reroll, and the 207k reroll into 166k, reroll into 200k, 162k, 322k reroll, and to 138k, 1.3, 664k in a master, 71k reroll, and to 2.6, 1.4 in a master, 139k, 214k reroll, into 437k, 200k, 1 million, 1.2, 1.5, 271k reroll, into 61k, 291k reroll, and to 143k, 233k, 219k, 143k reroll, into 2.3, 1.3 mil, 1.3, 251k reroll, into 209k, 161k, 187k in a master, 122k reroll, 222k, 4.1, that's another nice one, 1.4, 591k, 212k in a master, 1.2, 350k in another master, 286k reroll, 137k reroll, into 345k and a master. So a quarter of the way there, we have 750 left. So 1.3, 1.1 in another master, 633k another master, 1.3, 826k, 64k reroll into 2.2, 119k reroll into 2.4, 1.3, 543k, 192k reroll into 2.2, 2.4, 211k in a master, 183k reroll into 171k, 1.3, 1.1, 247k reroll into 414k, 1.2, 1.3 in the master, 109k reroll into 1.6 in the master, 827k, 173k in the master, 257k reroll into 1.3, 65k in a master, 175k master back to back, 317k triplicate masters, 999k, 855k, 226k into 1.3, 282k reroll into 1.3, 361k reroll into 2.1, 1 million, 570k and a master, 141k reroll into 130k, 1.3, 1.2, 223k reroll into 1.3 and a master, 101k, 125k and a master, 134k reroll into 602k, 42k and 1.2, 578k, 31k, that's a definite reroll into 1.2, 272k in a master, 399k reroll into 123k in a master, 227k at 1.1, at 1.2 in a master, at 1.1, 248k in a master, at 302k reroll into 195k, at reroll into 144k, at 2.1, 152k, reroll into 1.2 in a master, 102k, 233k, 127k reroll into 1.3, 1.2, 230k, 292k reroll into 299k, 245k, 245k again, 1.3 in a master, 271k reroll into 97k, 212k, 701k, 111,000 and a master, 235k reroll into 1.3. Next then we have 276k in a master, 174k, that's a reroll into 89k, 175k, 131k reroll into 541k, 1.2 in a master, 87k, 1.1, 4.2, that's another nice one, 659k, 1.2 in a master, 292k reroll into 595k, 96k in a master, 1.2, 103k reroll into 134k, we'll reroll that again into 174k, 90k in a master, 1.3 in a master, and another blood die miss. So I think that's number 3 if I'm correct. 1.4, 147k in a master, 1.3, 107k reroll into 1.3 and another blood die miss. 132k in a master, 170k another master back to back, 368k reroll and to 781k, 1.2 in a master, 114k reroll into 4.2 in a master, 194k reroll and 184k in a master, 2.4, 232k reroll, 188k and another master, 1.1, 2.6 mil, 142k reroll into 239k, 1.3, 1.2 and another Oshproc. We'll take that for sure. Back to back Oshprocs, 353k. Can we get triplicates? Nah, never lucky. So 907k, 202k reroll and to 464k, 136k in a master, 124k reroll and to 505k, 1.2 and a master, 1.2, 240k in a master, 1.2 in another master, 317k reroll into 1.2 in another master, 164k in a master, 153k reroll into 571k, 151k reroll into 253k, 159k, 4.2 in another master, 3.2 then as well, that's 2 nice caskets back to back, 129k in another master, 2.2 in another master, 101k reroll into 397k in a master, 140k, we'll reroll that one then into 122k, 1.2, 311k reroll, and to 80k, 758k, 203k, 496k, 144k in a master, 158k reroll into 292k, 732k in a master, 398k, we'll reroll that one into 1.5, 1.3, 527k, a million, 1.5, 943k, 400k reroll into 192k, reroll into 122k, so 1.4 and another master, and we also get another Oshproc as well, we'll take that. 156k reroll, and it's 113k in a master, 122k in another master back to back. Triplicate masters 380k, 237k reroll into 1.3, 1.2 in another master, 1.2, 1.4, million, 1.3, 1.1, 324k reroll into 337k. We'll reroll that one again into 153k in a master, 2.3 in another master, 85k, and there we go, another Oshbrock. 1.3, 1.3 in a master, 61k. We'll reroll that one into 70k, not much better. We'll reroll it again into 1.3, 554k, 973k, 737k, 1.1 in a master, 1.3 in a master back to back, 141k reroll into 1.2, 2.4, 127k reroll into 1.2, 1.2, 375k reroll into 3.1, 403k, 308k reroll into 56k. That's a big loss. 185k, 250k, 393k. We'll reroll that one then into 105k, 682k, 1.2 in another master, 1.4, 132k reroll into 306k, 1.2 in a master, 334k, 201k, 197k, 1.3, 412k in another master. We'll take that. 123k reroll into 4.1, 105k, 114k reroll into 335k, 88k, 319k, 368k in a master, 157k reroll into 159k, 233k, 147k in a master, 4.1, 175k. We'll reroll that one then into 685k, 965k, 271k reroll into 1.3, 1.6 mil, 81k reroll into 1.2, 156k in a master, 54k in another master back to back, 1.2, 298k reroll into 222k, 241k, 81k reroll into 105k, 421k, 173k, 1.2 mil, 1.3 mil, 81k reroll into, oh, let's go, that's a blood die. No way, let's go. That is huge. I think they're actually over 10 bill now as well. They're huge GP. We've been so dry on the big dies as well. We haven't got one of them in ages. It's only our second blood die ever, and we only have one third age die. That just made the whole opening now. That's all worth it then, all the time that it took to gather these, and we still have 548 left. And we still have time actually to get the full die set, so we still need a Shadow, a Barrows, and a third age die. Can we do it? It's a big stretch actually out of 1,000, to be fair. I'm happy with just the blood die. So next day we have 684k, 1.2 mil, 1 million, and 92k in a master, 528k reroll, 179k reroll into 82k, 114k, 134k, 155k in a master, 207k, 182k in a master, 1.3, 1.6, 1.3, 174k, reroll into 1.3, 142k in the master, 1.4 mil, 145k reroll, 354k reroll into 43k, 298k in a master, into 227k. So yeah, so 227k into 105k, and we'll reroll that one then into 1.1, 164k, reroll into 1.1 in the master, 114k, reroll into 313k, 146k, 751k, 345k in a master, 125k, reroll into 85k, 1.4 and a master, 2.1, 432k, reroll, and then we have a third age piece miss then as well with the Sarah bow, 1.5 mil, another 1.5, 1.1, 108k, reroll into 1.4, 1.3, 282k, reroll into 1.1, 1.3 in a master, 711k in another master, 1.2, 1.1, 1.2, 1.4, 496k in a master, 380k reroll, so 1.2, 153k reroll, and to 1.3 in another third age miss, 1.4 in a master, 1.4, 220k in another master, 84k reroll, and to 1.2, 156k, 968k, 288k in a reroll, into 1.2, 102k reroll, into 179k, 272k, we'll reroll that then into 157k, another reroll into 679k, so we're over the halfway point then now, 210k, 1.2, 309k reroll, into 1.3, 343k in a master, 1.3, 362k, reroll into 1.4, 620k, so 200k reroll into 346k in a master, 219k at 1.1, 318k reroll into 223k, at 1.4 in the master, 161k in another master back to back, 521k at 1.4, at 1.1, 1.4, at 1.2 in another master, 48k reroll into 794k, 127k reroll into 1.2, 253k in a master, at 1.4 in another master back to back, triplicate masters into 225k, 4 in a row, 154k in another master, 5 in a row, 312k in another master, 6 in a row, 105k in another master, 7 in a row, 1.2 mil in another master. Can we get 8 in a row? No, 277k, and we'll re-roll it then into 711k, 279k, re-roll into 1.1, 219k, re-roll into 1.2 mil, 1.4 mil, 156k, we'll re-roll that one then into 348k, we'll re-roll that one then into 137k, 472k, 476k, 1.5, 437k in a master, 107k, we'll re-roll that one then into 563k, 1.3 mil, 1 mil, 299k in a master, back-to-back masters 174k, 1.3 mil, 95k in another master, 607k, 1.2 mil, 130k in the master, 1.8 mil, 200k in another master, 1.3 mil, 1.3 mil, 1.3 in a master, 255k, we'll re-roll that one, 368k, we'll re-roll to 81k, we'll re-roll again, 1.4, 1.2 mil, 2.3 mil, 268k, we'll re-roll that one into 171k, re-roll into 90k, we'll re-roll it again to 1.3, 92k, 181k, 259k, we'll re-roll that one into 143k in a master, back-to-back masters 189k, 227k, 251k re-roll, and 276k, 114k, 1.3 and another Oshproc, 138k, we'll re-roll that one into 2.5 mil, 591k, 507k, 139k, re-roll that into 2.6 and another third age miss, 858k, 144k, 138k, we'll re-roll that one into 116k, 699k, 1.4 in a master, 358k. We'll re-roll that one then into 604 in another master, 1.4 another master, 1.3, 1.3, 464k, 143k. We'll re-roll that one into 138k, 2.1 mil, 285k. We'll re-roll that one into 245k, 145k in a master, 1.2, 2 million, 1.5, 2.4 mil, 406k. We'll re-roll that one into 1.3 mil, 2.5 mil, 252k. We'll re-roll that one into 166k. We'll re-roll it again into 1.3 mil, 1.1 in a master, 208k in another master back to back, 209k. We'll re-roll that one into 119k, 331k, 284k, 1.1 mil, 178k in a master, 1.2 in another master, 3.2, 341k. We'll re-roll that one into 180k. We'll re-roll that then into 546k, 35k, 1.4 mil, 1 mil, 199k. We'll re-roll that one into 174k, 2.4 mil, 211k. Re-roll into 107k, 323k, 1.1 mil, 592k, 194k in a master, 2.2 in a master, another master 37k, 2.2 mil, 1.3, 1.2 mil, 116k. But re-roll that into 166k, re-roll into 125k, re-roll again into 244k, 2.1 in another master, 342k. We'll re-roll that one into 139k, 247k, 167k reroll, and to 256k in a master, and we got another cookie then as well. We'd use that later on, 139k, and there we go. There's a shadow die. Let's go. We're well on our way to the die set. Actually, we're getting there. We still have time. So all we need is a barrows and a third age to complete the die set. Then in the 1000 opening, can we do it? Let's go. Let's get right back into it then. So yeah, so if we get the third age die next, then I could live without a barrows die for sure. So next then we have 98k. We'll re-roll that one then into 2.1 on a master, and to 773k, 148k, 133k. We'll re-roll that one then into 832k, 141k, and to 1.2 mil, 577k, 1.2 in the master, 361k. We'll re-roll that one then into 830k in another master, 244k re-roll into 113k, 488k in another master, back-to-back masters 141k, 2.4 mil, 345k. We'll re-roll that into 132k, 968k, 1.3 mil, 145k. We'll re-roll that one then into 134k and a master, 204k, 1.2 mil, 1.3 mil, 1.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 78k in a master, 194k in another master back to back, triplicate masters 1.3 mil, 4 in a row 256k, 5 in a row 135k in a master, and 1.2 435k. We'll re-roll that one into 89k. We'll re-roll again into 134k. Re-roll into 2.4 mil. 1.2 217k. Re-roll into 980k. 79k. We'll re-roll that one then into 1 million. 1.4 94k. Again, we'll re-roll that into 115k. 1.3 in another master, and 94k. 197k. We'll reroll 480k in a master, 118k, 3.1 mil, 1.3, 1.3 again, 104k in another master, 257k. We'll reroll that into 156k, reroll into 129k, 492k, 328k, 1.2, 608k, 679k, 1.1 mil, 53k, we'll reroll that into 1.3 in a master, at 1.4, 136k, we'll reroll that into 148k, reroll that one then into a million. Well, actually, a couple of these cookies then just for the moment. Next then we have 363k, we'll reroll that then into 109k, reroll again into 404k, 1.2 mil, 147k, we'll reroll that one into 2.3 mil, 1.3 mil, 146k, 2.2 mil, 1.3, 171k, we'll reroll that then into 1.5 mil, 157k, 1.2 in master, 1.5, and we got another blood die miss. Can't complain too much after already getting a die. 87k, 1.4, 205k, reroll into 57k, 1.3 mil, 180k in a master, 141k and another master back to back, 189k master, 406k, we'll reroll that one into 163k, we'll reroll it into 1 million, 1.2, 1.2 in another master, 107k, we'll reroll that one to 77k in another master, 544k, 1.1, 260k in a master, 289k, we'll reroll that one into 690k in another master, 514k, 1.2 in a master, 2.2, 176k, we'll reroll that into 2.3, 365k, we'll reroll that one into 2.4, 350k in a master, 320k, 1.3, 208k another master, 101k, we'll reroll that one into 261k, 1.3 mil, 2.6 mil, 3.1 mil, 1.4, 145k, we'll reroll that one into 1.3, and we got another cookie, 1.4, 203k, reroll into 45k, that's a definite reroll into 1.4 mil. And we're getting towards the last quarter now, 280 left to go, 1.3 mil, 128k, we'll reroll into 1.3 master and another cookie, 294k, we'll reroll that one into 313k, followed by 59k, that's a definite reroll into 1.4 and another master, 1.4 again, 635k in a master, 220k, that's a reroll into 1.2, 1.3, 205k in a master, 1.5 in another master, 137k reroll into 2.2 mil, 93k, again we'll reroll into 154k, 185k, 478k, 2.4 mil, 512k, 195k, we'll reroll that one into 88k, 302k, that's a reroll into 1.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 350k, 551k, 1.2 mil, 194k, we'll reroll that one into 2.5 mil, 155k, reroll into 376k, 132k, 333k, 4.3 mil, 4.3 mil again, back to back, 216k in a master, 661k, 537k in a master, and we're down to the last quarter. So 162k reroll into 1.3, 1.4, 178k reroll into 125k. We'll reroll again into 1.3, 184k, 1.3 mil, 812k, 214k reroll into 1.4 mil, 132k. We'll reroll into 183k, 152k in a master, 1.4, 305k, we'll reroll into 152k, 1.2 mil, 1.4 mil, 306k, we'll reroll that into 1.4 in a master, 1.3, 2.6, 121k, 2.5 and a master, 1.3, 142k, 1.3 mil, 149k in another master, 104k, we'll reroll into 1.3 mil, 2.6 mil, 1.1 mil, 242k in another master, 360k, we'll reroll into 198k, another reroll into 62k, that's a really low one, 1.8 mil, 149k, 55k in a master, 144k, we'll reroll into 1.3 mil. 2.2 mil, 149k, that's a reroll into 1.4 mil. 193k in a master, 144k, 150k reroll into 138k, 262k, 27k, that has to be one of the lowest we've seen, 291k in a master, 291k in another Oshproc, 178k, we'll reroll into 528k, 1.5 mil, 1.3 mil, 1.2 in a master, 622k, 156k reroll into 177k in a master, 143k, again we'll reroll that one then into 980k, 255k reroll into 203k in another Oshproc, 167k in a master, 221k, 289k, we'll reroll into 598k, to 363k, 167k, 1.2 mil, 1.2 mil again, 284k, we'll reroll that one into 215k in a master, 1.2 in another master, 2.2 mil, 254k, we'll reroll that one then into a million, 229k, we'll reroll that one then into 1.3 mil, 496k another master, 1.4, 2.5, 188k, we'll reroll that one into 82k, 123k, 220k in the master, 321k, we'll reroll that one into 310k in another master, 43k, 141k in a master, 1.2 in another master back to back, 1.3 mil, 694k, 1.3 mil, 191k, we'll reroll that one into 1.3, 171k reroll into 19k master. We'll keep it with the master, but 19k is ridiculously low. 971k, 139k reroll into 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil, 2.3, 1.4, 126k reroll into 471k, 1.3, 1.4, 270k, we'll reroll that one then again, 247k reroll into 101k and a cookie, and a master, 269k another master, 1.3, 239k, we'll reroll that one into 113k. We have 514k, 293k reroll into 935k in a master, 172k, 784k, 108k in a master, 235k, we'll reroll into 1.3 in a master, 457k, 1.2 in a master, 150k reroll into 1.2 and another blood die miss and a master, 163k reroll into 329k, 221k, 730k, 153k reroll into 111k, 229k, 127k in a master, 1.1 mil, 559k, 1.2 mil, 1.3 in a master, 251k, we'll reroll that one into 1.1, 1.2 mil, 40k, we'll reroll that one then into 1.2 mil, 232k reroll into 209k, 3.1 mil, 1.2 mil, 257k, we'll reroll that one then into 1.3 in a master, 291k, another master back to back, 3 masters in a row, 3.3 mil, 1.3 mil, 1.2 mil, 228k in a master, 180k, we'll reroll that one into 184k, another reroll into 1.6 in the master, 1.1 mil, 1.2 mil, 236k, we'll reroll that one into 88k in the master, 1.4 mil in the master, 2.2 in another master, and then we have another third age piece miss, and it's 1.2 mil, 354k, we'll reroll into 76k, we'll reroll that one then into 153k, followed by 1.2 mil, 1.3 mil and a master, 136k, we'll reroll into 1.5 mil, 350k, 250k, 1.4 mil, 4.3 and a master, that's a really nice one, 2.3 mil, 169k, we'll reroll that one into 256k, reroll into 145k, 66k, 46k and another cookie, 1.1 mil, followed by 703k, 229k and a master, 4.4 mil, 262k and another cookie, 306k, we'll reroll into 152k, reroll into 223k, we'll reroll it again into 934k, followed by 1.3 mil, 2.6 mil, 262k in a master, 4.2 mil, another nice one, 201k, we'll reroll that one then into 1.4 and another master, 194k, we'll reroll into 1.3 mil, 2.2 mil in the master, 377k reroll into 159k, we'll reroll that one then again into 119k, and we're down to the final 100, so 3.2 mil, 459k in a master, 115k, we'll reroll that one then into 1.2 in master, 333k, 1.4, 950k, 142k, we'll reroll that one into 2.4 mil, not too bad, 258k, we'll reroll that one again into 458k, 28k, that is another super low one, 254k in a master, 225k, we'll reroll that one then into, there we go, Barrow's die. So all we're missing is the third age die for the die set from the 1000. Can we do it? We still have 89, so there's a chance. So we just need one more, surely not. Yeah, last 89. Let's get this. Come on, what are the chances we can get this third age die for this set? 1.3 mil, 1.3 mil, 1.3 mil, 180k. We'll reroll that one then into 1.5 mil, 165k in a master, 1.3 mil another master, 1.3 mil, 442k reroll, and 108k. 471k, we'll reroll that one then into 189k in a master, 227k and another Ashproc, 1.4 mil, 1.3 mil, 61k, we'll reroll that one then into 171k in a master, 96k in a master, 282k reroll, 103k, 156k, 274k, 1.2 mil in the master, 421k, we'll reroll into 1.2 in another master, 210k another master, 102k, we'll reroll that one, to 1.4 mil, 304k, 3.6 mil, and another blood die miss. It'd be insane if we got another blood die. 194k, we'll reroll into 91k in the master, 145k, 1.2 mil, 1.3 in a master, 2.3 mil, 165k reroll into 1.3 master and another blood die miss. 225k reroll into 1.1 mil, 182k, 2.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 422k we'll reroll into 90k, 1.3 mil, 446k and a master, another blood die miss 1.2 mil, 177k reroll into 98k, 285k reroll into 239k, 138k, 1.2 mil, 1.8 mil in a master, 1.4 mil another master back to back, 219k reroll into 120k, 207k reroll into 306k, 502k, 1.5 and master, 113k reroll into 1.4 mil, 199k in a master, back to back masters 1.4 mil, 195k, we'll reroll that one into 120k, 136k in a master, 2.2 mil, 181k reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 252k, 137k reroll into 340k and a master, 1.4 and another master, 3.2 mil, 1.3 mil, 145k reroll into 1 mil, 1.5 mil, 1.3 mil, 430k reroll into 996k, and we're down to the final 25, 1.2 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil. Can we get it? 172k reroll into 107k, 131k reroll into 1.1 mil, 143k, 161k, 1.8 mil and a master, 629k and a master back to back, 198k will reroll into 186k, 2.4 mil, 674k will reroll into 125k and an Oshproc, 4.2 mil, 338k and another Oshproc. Our luck is really in tonight. This is actually insane. Then we're down to our final 10 then, so 910k and a master, 132k and another master back to back, 1.2 mil, 234k and another master, 1.2 mil, 64k, we'll reroll into 344k, we'll reroll again into 119k, reroll again into 115k. Do you know what, we use our last cookie as well. So then next we have 1.1 mil, 93k, we'll reroll that one then into 172k and a master, 1.4 mil, 1.2 mil, and our final one then of the 1000 is 103k, and we have a reroll, so let's go for that, into 479k. So this opening has been absolutely insane. So in 1000 caskets we've got 5 drops in total. So we got effigies, we got ice die, we got a massive blood die, we got a massive shadow die, and we got our barrows die then as well. So we finished this one on 58.8 billion, and so we started it on 46.1 billion. So yeah, we've made what a massive, was it just over 12.7 billion, which is absolutely insane for an opening. So yeah, I think this is by far my best one yet. So that's another loot video done, and we made some nice GP then today. So subscribe if you're new and comment below if you have any suggestions for future content. Until then, see ya.